Hello everyone. Today we are going to study about basic human rights. Myself, Miss Halunde SS, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, Sharad Institute of Technology. Now let us see about Indian Constitution. In that, contents are what is a constitution anyway? Next, why do we need constitution? The framing of Constitution of India. The preamble to Constitution of India. What is the Constitution of India? Main characteristics of Constitution of India. Last point is related to conclusion. Now let us see one by one. What is Constitution anyway? In that, almost everything we do is governed by some set of rules. There are rules for games like soccer, for social clubs and for adults in the workplace. There are also rules imposed by morality and custom that play an important role in telling us what we should and should not to do. For example, in the game of soccer, a referee has full authority to enforce the rules or the law of games on the players. When a player do something against the rule, referee takes an action like send off a play as shown in images as below. First image shows it should be done, second image shows should not to do, and third image shows if should not to do is happened, then red card is shown by referee. About continuation with this, some rules that are made by the legislatures, also known as Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha in India, for their own country, are called law. We need laws in society so our society can regulate and work properly. They are designed to protect us and our property and to ensure that everyone in society behaves the way that the community expects to. Laws tells us what to expect as a consequence of our action. Laws have been the glue that has kept society together. Without laws, there would be complete enriching. Here are some images related to this. Continuation with this. In general, Constitution is the supreme law of the land. All other laws have to conform to the Constitution. The Constitution contains laws concerning the government and its relations with the people. A constitution is concerned with two main aspects. First aspect is the relation between the different levels of the government, and second aspect is between the government and the citizens. Here images shows that the constitution related to different peoples and government, how the constitution bonds like a glue between government and the people. With continuation of this point, technical definition about that, a constitution is a set of fundamental principles or established precedents according to the which a set or other organization is governed. These rules together make up, that is a constitute what the entity is. When these principles are written down into a single collection or a set of a legal documents, those documents may be said to comprise a written constitution, or the document containing laws and rules which determine and describe the form of government. The relationship between the citizens and the government is called as a constitution. With continuation of this, third point, an observation. The constitution is not an instrument for the government to restrain the people. It is an instrument for the people to restrain the government. Patrick Henry called this in 1736 to 1799. He worked on this. Second point is, why do we need constitution? In general, we need a constitution to govern a country, people. Second, the constitution defines the nature of political system of country. Third, sometimes we feel strongly about an issues that might go against our larger interest, and the constitution helps us guard against this. Fourth one, all the three organs of government, executive, legislature and judiciary, functions within the constitution. All the three organs of the government, including ordinary citizens, derive their power and authority. That is a fundamental right from the constitution. If they act against it, it is a unconstitutional and unlawful. So constitution is required to have authority, allocation of power and function, and also to restrict them within its limit. Again, continuation with this. To perform following function, we need constitution. First function is, the first function of a constitution is to provide a set of basic rules that allow for minimal coordination amongst members of the society. Second, the second function of the constitution is to specify who has to power to make decisions in a society. It decides how the government will be constituted. Third, the third function of the constitution is to set some limits on what a government can impose on its citizens. These limits are fundamental in the sense that the government may ever trespass them. The fourth function of the constitution is to enable the government to fulfill the separation of society and create conditions for the just society. Third part is the framing of Constitution of India. In that, Dr. Sachidananda Singh was the first president, temporary president of the Constituent Assembly when it met on December 9, 1946. Later, Dr. Rajendra Prasad becomes the president of the Constituent Assembly and Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar becomes the chairman of its drafting committee on December 11, 1946. These are the some images of these persons. First image shows us that temporary president Dr. Sachidananda Singh left on December 1946. Second image is related to that person, that is a Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the president of Constituent Assembly, and third image shows about us related to that Bhimrao Ambedkar, right, the chairman of its drafting committee and as a December 11, 1946. This is the first day, December 9, 1946 of the Constituent Assembly. From right, B.G. Kher and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, K.M. Munshi is seated behind Patel. In continuation with this, for the time being till the constitution was made, India would be governed in accordance with the Government of India Act in 1935. The assembly meet is sessions open to the public for 166 days, spread over a period of 2 years, 11 months and 18 days before adopting the constitution. It was finally passed and accepted on November 26, 1949. In all, the 284 members of the assembly signed the official copies, original of the Indian constitution. After many deliberations and some modifications over 111 plenary sessions in 114 days, the 308 members of the assembly signed 2 copies, that is final, of the document, one each in Hindi and English, on 24 January 1950. Some days the assembly unanimously elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the President of India, which came into effect on January 26, 1950, known and celebrated as the Republic Day of India. This is some glimpses related to Republic Day celebration on 26 January at New Delhi, India. Then next point is the preamble to the Constitution of India. The preamble to the Constitution of India is a brief introductory statement that sets out the guiding purpose and principles of the document. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved the constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular domestic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and politically liberty of though expressions, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all frequently, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constitution Assembly, this 26th day is of November 1949, do hereby adopt an act and give to ourselves this Constitution. Continuation with this, the first words of the preamble, we the people, signifies that power of ultimately rested in the hands of a people of India. So far the preamble has been amended only once in 1976 by 42's amendment change, that is a change which inserted the words socialism, secularism and integrity. A brief description of those concepts are as follows in the order they come in preamble. Sovereign, it means free to follow internal and external policies. Secular, it means no particular religion is preferred. Socialist, it means no concentration of power and money. Democratic, it means rules by elected representative of the people of India. Republic, it means no room for hereditary rules or monarchy. Right to freedom of religion. The preamble page along with other pages of the first and the original book of Constitution of India was designed, that is arted and decorated, that is framed by slowly by renewed painter Bohar Shakha. This is some glimpses or images related to that freedom of religions along with that Indian Constitution. Then fifth is, what is the Constitution of India? In that, in general, what about that Constitution India? Let us see. Constitution of India in general. Constitution of India is considered to be the supreme law of the country, and it puts forth the framework of fundamental political principles. It establishes the structure, procedures, power and the duty of the government and mentions the fundamental rights, directives, principles and duties of citizens. The Constitution declares India as a sovereign, socialist, democratic and republic and a parliamentary form of government. The Indian Constitution shows federal as well as unitary system. Federal system. In that federal system, powers are divided and are shared between the states and central government. And in union system, power concentration in central government with weak state. In continuation with this, structure of Constitution of India, the Constitution in its current form, that is in March 2011, consists of one preamble, 25 parts containing 450 articles, 12 schedules, 2 appendices and 97 amendment documents. To date, although it is federal in nature, it also has a strong unitary bias. This is the structure about that structure of Constitution of India. In that Constitution of India, here preamble 1, parts 25, article involved in that 450 amendments included. It is a 97 schedules are 12, appendixes that is a 2. Apart from that, parts and article again it are divided into 3 parts, that is a fundamental right, directive principles, and then fundamental duties. Continuation with this, the basic principle of the Constitution of India, in that a careful study of the Constitution will show that there are at least 8 basic principles which are embodied into and which form the foundation of the political system in India. These are: first, popularity, sovereignty, socialism, secularism, fundamental right, directive principle of state policy, judicial independence, federalism, and cabinet government. Continuation with this, fundamental rights are different from other rights available to us. While ordinary legal rights are protected and enforced by ordinary law, the fundamental rights are protected and guaranteed by the Constitution of country. The Constitution of India recognizes certain basic fundamental rights for every citizen of India, such as right to equality, right to freedom of religion, right against exploitation, cultural and educational right, right to constitution remedies. These are the fundamental rights provided by our Constitution of India. Again, continuation with this, ordinary rights may be changed by the legislature or ordinary process of a law making, but a fundamental right may only be changed by amending a constitution itself. Besides this, no organ of government can act in a manner that violates them. Any infringement of fundamental rights can be challenged by any citizen of India in the court of law. The Constitution of India also prescribes some fundamental duties on every citizen in India. These are the glimpses related to know your rights and to follow your rights. Continuation with these fundamental duties, there is a part number 4 in article number 51A. What it says is, these fundamental rights have been provided at the cost of some fundamental duties. These are considered as the duties that must be and should be performed by every citizen of India. These fundamental duties are defined as, it shall be the duty of every citizen of India. What are these duties? First, to abide by the Constitution. Second, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Third one is to cherish and follow the noble ideas which inspired our national struggle for freedom. Next, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. Next, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood, the value and prescriptive the rich heritage of our composite culture, to protect and improve the national environment, to develop the scientific temper, humanism and the spirit of inquiry and reform, to safeguard public property and to abjure violence. Then next is right to constitutional remedies. In that, Indians Supreme Court and Election Commission are recognized as the bedrock of Indian democracy. These two bodies stand up to the enormous powers that the Constitution invests in the central government in general and to the unbridled power of Indian Prime Minister in particular. Checks and balances. Checks and balances that are provided by the Constitution also smooth out the strained relation between the central government and the state by limiting the central government's ability to interface in the state of affairs. Usually, either the state government or a political party may feel an appeal or a writ petition in the Supreme Court against a policy or practices of union or a state. Again, continuation with this. Although the India's constitution follows the British parliamentary system, it is the constitution and not the Parliament of India that reigns supreme. As in the United States, the Indian courts interprets the constitution and adjudicate the laws passed by the parliament. Although the parliament has the authority to amend the constitution, India's court have to make sure that the parliament does not change its fundamental structure, with guarantees economic opportunities, social justice, and religious and political freedom to all its citizens. Although political corruption and corruption are rampant in India, as they are in other developing countries, the courts and judiciary guarantees of India freedom from opposition. Sixth is main characteristics of Constitution of India. The Constitution of India has some distinct and unique features as compared to other constitution to the world. As Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, the chairman of drafting committee, puts it, the framers had tried to accumulate and accommodate the best features of other constitution, keeping in view the peculiar problems and needs of our country. Again, continuation with this. The main characteristics of Constitution of India are: first one is the longest written constitution, third one is a partly read and partly flexible, third is the democratic republic, fourth one is a parliamentary system of government, fifth one is a federation, sixth one is a fundamental right, seventh one is a directive principle of state policy, eighth one is a fundamental duties, ninth one is a secular state, 10th one is an independent judiciary, 11th is a single citizenship. This is all about that what is the Indian Constitution, and related to information what are the things involved in Indian Constitution. Along with this, today lecture I am going to concluding. In this conclusion, what we conclude that a constitution symbolizes independence of the country, framework and the structure for the governance of a free country are provided in the constitution. The Constituent Assembly prepared the draft of the constitution by keeping the objectives resolutions as the backdrop, which reflected the aspirations of the people of India. The framing of the constitution was completed on November 26, 1949, when the Constituent Assembly formally adopted the new constitution. The constitution came into force with effect from January 26, 1950. The constitution begins with a preamble which declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, domestic republic. The preamble also mentions the goals of securing justice, liberty and equality for all its citizens, and promotion of a national unity and integrity on the basis of fraternity among the people, assuring dignity of the individual. Again, continuation with this conclusion, what we conclude that the Constitution of India has a several distinctive features. It is the lengthiest constitution in the world, and it is a combination of dignity and flexibility. The constitution provides for a quasi-federal, that is, it means of a federal set up where deposit having two clear sets of government, central and the state. More power are given to the central government, set up with a stronger center. There is a clear division of a powers between the center and the state. Supreme Court of India is the apex court of India, which will resolve the disputes between the center and the states or between the states. India has the parliamentary democracy. The Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister enjoys the real power and is responsible to the Parliament. Indian Constitution provides for fundamental rights which are justifiable. 10 fundamental duties have also been added to the Constitution. The directive principle of the state policy give a concrete shape to the welfare concept. Thank you.